Have you ever wondered what exactly goes into a social media manager's daily routine? Today, I want to share with you how social media managers balance the creativity, the strategy, and their sanity, all while managing social media that never really turns off. My name's Tori, and it is my goal to make social media easy for you and to make it a powerful and positive tool to grow your business. In today's video, I'm giving you a VIP backstage pass into my brain, my world, and my routine as I share my favorite tools, how I manage social media, and the highs and lows of managing social media every single day. Let's jump in. First, I want to talk about monthly analytics and planning. We're going to back up. We're not going to talk daily yet. There are some things that don't have to happen every single day, and two of those things are watching your analytics and planning content. So I like to start my month by looking really closely at my analytics. This helps me know what's working, what's not working, and what I can do better. If you aren't wanting to use a third-party tool, a lot of apps and social networks have built-in analytics tools that you can look at. Or if you're open to a third-party tool, I like using Metricool so I can see all of my different accounts in one place and see how they compare to each other and to benchmark myself against competitors and how they're doing. It has a tool for that. I'll link to Metricool in the description below. When I'm looking at all this data from the entire month, what I like to look for are engagement metrics. So my engagement rate, the comments I'm receiving, the shares, things that people are finding interesting to either share with other people or talk about on the app. And if you want more tips about how to read your analytics, I do have an entire video explaining analytics. I'm going to link it up at the top right now, so you can click over and watch that one next if you want to know a little bit more about what all these numbers mean. The general idea when you're looking at analytics is to look for patterns. Is there a type of content that your audience prefers? Is there a type of content that tends to get more reach or more engagement, more likes, shares, comments, clicks, whatever it is you're looking for? Look for the type of content that's doing that. What's performing best? And then how can you recreate that in the next month? For example, if people are really enjoying photos of people, and maybe you don't share a lot of photos of people, how can you do more of that? Or if people seem to resonate with memes, can you create more memes to really capture their attention? Or if people enjoy a certain type of tip or a type of content that you post, can you recreate that as a reel and a carousel, just to share the similar content a different way? Basically, you want to take what you already know is successful and recreate that, reuse that without having to reinvent the wheel every single month. Now that we have all of this data, it is time to plan your content. This is where you call in your team if you have one, where everyone sits down and you think about what's coming up over the next month. You should already have a jump start on content you want to post based on what performed well, right? So you might have 3, 4, or 5 ideas of pieces of content you can post, hopefully at least. And then you want to start looking at what's coming up. Are there any holidays we want to talk about? Are there any deals or promotions, product launches, anything going on in the community we want to share about? This is where we fill in the rest of the calendar and you actually plot it out on a calendar so you know when things are going to post. There aren't any huge surprises. There may be some things here and there that you want to add to the calendar as the month goes on, but you have your framework for the month and you know that you can get through the month with all of this content so you aren't left stressed day to day. This is a lifesaver. If you manage social media, is to stay ahead of it at least a week, but hopefully a month to month. And by the way, if you are wanting more information on content planning, I do have an entire video on planning your content. It's available right here. I've got the link up above. So we've talked about my monthly routine, which I generally do the first day of the month or as close to the first day of the month as I can. Then I have my weekly routine. This is every single Monday. I log on to all the accounts that I manage and just make sure I haven't missed any opportunities to engage. I make sure all of the messages are responded to, all of comments are responded to. I reach out and start engagement with other accounts or go follow other accounts that I think might be interested in following us back. I do this once a week just to make sure the momentum is still going and I'm checking in from more of a bird's eye view instead of just trying to keep up with it every single day. If you want more details on my engagement routine, I'm linking a video up above where I go over it minute by minute. But I want to remind you that social media is really about building relationships. So you really want to make this a priority when you're managing social media accounts. Even a quick thank you can go a long way. The other thing that I like to do on a weekly basis that I'm not sure all social media managers do, but it does help me keep my sanity, is I like to schedule out the content that I can. So once a week, usually on Monday, I take a look at all of the content I have that's ready to post, and I schedule that out for throughout the week so that I don't have to think about it every single day. If you're able to do this, even on a monthly basis sometimes, that can be great. I also employ this when I go on vacations or if there's holidays. I like to automate as much as I can of the posting that doesn't really need to be done live to free up my time to do more important things in the moment. Next up, the moment you've been waiting for, daily tasks. So I want to break down what an average day might look like as a social media manager, and that starts pretty similarly to how my week starts with notifications. I don't like to watch notifications on the go if I can help it. I like to try and check in when I'm sitting at my desk, so that's generally how I start my day, is going through notifications, and then I check them periodically throughout the day. The next step is looking at content and any content needed that I haven't been able to schedule. So what do I need to create for that? Who do I need to email to get that content? Do I need to go take photos and videos myself? That's kind of the next step to make sure that I have the content needed for today and tomorrow and hopefully the rest of the week if I'm looking ahead. If I am creating content on a given day, my best tip is to try to batch create that content. So in other words, if you know you need to film a reel for today and you need another reel for next week, film them at the same time. That way you're only having to get all set up once, only having to think about it once, and then it saves you time down the road next week. Or if you're sitting there writing captions, write all the captions at once. You're working on the voice, making it sound the way you want it to sound. It's a lot easier to do it all at once than trying to pick it up every single day and get it done. Batching content really does help me save a lot of time and helps me stay ahead of schedule most of the time. And if you want more tips on batching content, I do have another video just on batching content that I'll link up above, so you can click over and get my specific tips for that too. Next, it's time to actually post. So I'll let you in on a little secret. It is very rare that I actually post something live in the moment. There are a lot of reasons for that. One is just that I get very anxious if I'm having to sit there and post something at the best time of day and make sure it's out and make sure it's perfect. I prefer to have it all loaded into either a third-party tool or the app itself, because a lot of these apps let you schedule in the app now. When you go to post, you can say set time to post instead of post now. And I prefer to do that just so I can sit and think on it a little bit once I have it all uploaded. I know the music's ready to go, I know the caption's ready to go, and I can sit and make sure that everything looks great rather than trying to do it on the fly. That just saves my brain and my sanity, but that may not be how it works best for you. So on a daily basis, if you're wanting to post live, that's when you would do this. You can go into these apps themselves, or you can go into a third-party app if you want to post all in one place for all these different apps, like Metricool, right? You can post to Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, I think TikTok now, Pinterest, all in the same place. You don't have to log in and log back out. And this is where you will actually post your content. Now that I know I'm on top of all of my notifications and I've posted my content for the day and hopefully have content scheduled for more than today, I like to end the day by looking at what's coming the next morning, making sure that when I get up, I'm not going to be stressed about things that have to go out in the morning, or stress about trying to get a piece of content from someone else that I need to get posted tomorrow. I like to try and end the day by looking forward. So I'll make sure that when I'm off, I'm actually off. I can turn off and I don't have to worry about signing back on or getting stuck on the feed, scrolling and scrolling. So I recommend you do that too. You can just do a quick to-do list if that helps you, so you know when you sit down in the morning exactly what needs to happen and there's no surprises. While we're on the topic of creating and posting content, I do want to share some of my favorite tools that really help me save time when I'm posting every day on social media. And one of those, which has been my favorite for a couple years now, is Canva. I'm going to link to all of these in the description below, so scroll down if you want to find out more about it. But there are free options. I do pay for it because I use it every single day. And I use it to help me create designs, edit photos, create B-roll, add text overlays. Really, most of the things I post probably go through Canva before being posted. Then if you need to edit video, CapCut has become my go-to. I've actually used a lot of different video editors over the past couple years, and I have to say CapCut is probably one of the least expensive and most user-friendly options out there. It's available on your phone if you just want to do it on your phone or on your computer. And I promise, even if you've never edited video before, it's pretty easy on these apps. They actually specifically have a transcript editing option. You can go to transcript and it will actually have all of the spoken word that you've said in the video, and you can select what pieces you don't want in the video, like you would in a Word document. You just highlight it with your cursor and delete, and it's out of the video. So you're not trying to find the moments in the video. You can just look at the transcript and cut out what you don't want. Some people also like to use this when you say or ah a lot, but I prefer it just for kind of larger scale editing. When I have a really long video, I can look at the spoken text and just delete huge chunks without having to worry about deleting something important. When it comes to planning, my favorite tool is either Google Sheets or ClickUp, depending on the client and what I'm working on. And this helps me create a digital calendar where everyone can access and see what's going on, can make edits if I need edits on captions. And really, I can edit it from anywhere, right? So I can edit it from my phone or at my desk, wherever I am. When it comes to seeing the big picture of my results, I've mentioned them already in this video and in other videos. I promise they're not paying me anything. I just really do love this tool. It's Metricool. They provide you with a huge report. You can delete certain data points you don't care about so that it shortens it up for what you really need. But this can include their audience demographics, best times to post, what posts or reels are performing best, and even lets you look at how your competitors are doing, how many times they're posting, and how their posts are performing compared to yours. Now it's time to talk about AI. I am a frequent user of ChatGPT. That is another tool that I pay for. I use it every single day to help me save time. It helps me come up with keyword ideas, hashtag ideas, caption ideas, post ideas, content ideas. It helps with blog outlining, script outlining, drafting first drafts. I would say that you do still have to keep a very human touch involved to make sure that it's yours and you're not just regurgitating information that's online. But it really does help get the work started and helps take out some of that brainstorming. If you have questions about ChatGPT or any other AI tools and how you can use them to help you and your workload, will you please let me know in the comments? I've been getting a few questions about this and I've been considering making a video on it, so I just want to make sure it would actually be helpful. So just let me know. So those are my top tools, and the right tools really do make your life easier. These tools were not what I've been using for all time. I've been doing this for 15 years. Some of these didn't exist back then, and it's taken me multiple steps for some of these. For example, video editing. I think I've gone through 5-6 different video editing apps and softwares. So if you're new to this, if you're wanting to start using tools, start with one, maybe two, and really learn those. And then build from there. So you're not trying to learn how to use all of these different tools at once. That will be way too overwhelming. So pick a few tools that you think might help you the most and learn those now and build on that more later. Now that we've covered the details, I do want to talk about the reality of working in social media. I hear a lot from people that they think it's really cool that I work in social media, and I agree. I feel very lucky to work in this industry, that I have the flexibility to work from home and I get to work with a lot of really cool different types of businesses and really be creative. But social media never sleeps. It never turns off. People see posts when they see posts, and that's when they want to talk to you right away. And that can be really stressful, especially as you're starting out, before you kind of set more healthy boundaries. I also like to point out that social media is actually a really personal thing for a lot of people. And when you're a social media manager posting as someone else, they are very specific about how they want to be portrayed understandably, and how they want people to perceive them. So it can be a little difficult to get that voice right and to make sure that you are representing them in the way they want to be represented, whether you agree with it or not. And so that can be really stressful too. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned from working in social media is to set boundaries. You need to set office hours so that you're not getting sucked into the social media vortex all the time. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to be only from, 9 to 5. You are going to receive texts from clients or really important comments that you need to respond to when you receive them once in a while. But the hope is that that's not the normal, that you generally have really healthy boundaries, and that sometimes you have to go outside of office hours just like you would in any other job. So if you're working in social media or planning to start posting for yourself or others, please do set those boundaries. Give yourself permission to have downtime and to unplug from social media. This will help keep you from burning out, which I did early on in my career, and I had to take a good long look at what I was doing, because your mental health matters so much more than metrics. And if you aren't healthy mentally, it's going to be really hard to keep up in this industry. And that's a day in my life as a social media manager. I hope that you found it helpful. If you are looking at going into the social media industry, I hope it gave you a real behind the scenes look and helped you set some clear expectations for the industry and maybe for yourself. If you have any questions about managing social media, please do drop them in the comments below. I'd love to give you my input or help in any way I can. And don't forget to subscribe so my next video on social media is really easy to find. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay social.